Hello everybody, and welcome to another Kev Play. This is Kevin, and we are on part 11 of Spyro Reignited Trilogy, part 1 of Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Let's get into it. Hey Peppa Pig, how are you?
Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like. We should go on vacation. Somewhere warm. Somewhere sunny. Dragon Shores, yeah! I haven't been there since we kicked Nasty Nork's butt. How about it, Sparks? You up for a vacation at the beach? Last one there's a Nork!
Is it working, Professor?
Almost. Just a few more adjustments to these orbs and...
Maybe this isn't such a good idea. Bringing a dragon here could just make Ripto more angry.
Calm down, Hunter, and stop fidgeting.
But you saw the professor's book. They have claws like this, and teeth like this, and they can spit fire like this. They sound much more dangerous than Ripto.
That's exactly the point. A dragon is our only chance of stopping Ripto, and you know it.
It's working! It's working! I've got a dragon!
Huh? Whoa! Rough landing. Hi, which way's the beach? Huh? Hey, stop staring. Haven't you guys ever seen a dragon before?
You're a dragon?
You got a problem with that, pussycat?
Well, well, someone forgot to invite me to the party. Were you trying to keep something from me? A dragon? You brought a dragon to Avalar? I hate dragons. Yeah! Crush! Kill it! Kill it! Go, you imbecile! You ate my scepter! I'll deal with you later!
Who was that jerk?
That was Ripto, and we have to get rid of him. He's causing all sorts of trouble around here, but I haven't got time to explain. Here, take this magic guide to Avalar. It'll help you begin to understand our worlds. Right now, I have to follow Ripto and see what he's up to. I'll meet you in Summer Forest, okay?
Hey, wait a minute! How do we get ourselves into these messes, pal?
I had a good Valentine's Day, how about you? Oh, wow. Oh! Oh, this is not good. Is there a way to turn this off? I don't want the super flame. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got stuff they gotta do with their life, you know. It's being with someone else is just one other thing you can do with your life, you know. There's so much to do. How do I get rid of also permanent super? Yeah, I want that off. This is not good. Can I get the move? It's the move list control scheme. How do I turn it off? Oh man, this is really annoying. I want to be able to play the game without... Is there a way to turn it off? Now I have to waste time looking this up to see if I... Yeah, I don't want to play with permanent super flame at all. Turn off super flame. How to disable super flame. How do I turn off PlayStation super flame on and off? Okay, there's a code for it. Oh. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Does that do anything? No. Let's try while I'm in play. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. That did not work. That's... Maybe I have to go... Maybe I have to go out of the level and then come back in. Okay, let's try it. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. No. I feel like there should be like a... Yeah, there's a Canadian guy video. Let me see. Of course, Canadian guy A takes forever to tell you. He has to go into a whole like 10-minute thing of it.
Well, have no fear, because we just found a fix. Over on Twitter, OzLJ found that if you punch in the following code while paused, you actually disable the super flame in Spyro 2. Simply hit pause and punch in the following code. Here are both codes for both consoles.
Alright. It's supposed to be when I'm in the pause menu, so let's see if it works. Which I thought I was doing, but oh no.
Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what...
Let's skip that, we already saw it. Alright, I'm gonna pause, and it's left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Come on, why doesn't it work? Maybe I have to go faster? Left, right. You know what? Hold on. Maybe my controller isn't really being responsive with the D-pad. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Left, right, left. No. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Yeah. I'm gonna try switching my controller because I think the controller I'm using might not have the best left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Left, right, R1, R1, R1 square. Ah, come on. Am I putting the right thing in? Well, this is a bust. Left, right. R1, R1, R1 square. I might start this over, you know, because... Got it. I heard it big. Okay. Alright, now we're good. I'm sorry about that. I guess that's just what we have to, you know, deal with. Sometimes Let's Plays have unpredictable curveballs. Okay.
Hi, Spyro! Welcome to Glimmer! Unfortunately for us, a mob of lizards just showed up and started stealing all of our gems! Can you stop them?
I sure can. See, this is what I loved about Spyro 2 right from the get-go, is how you have allies in the map with you that aren't just like, you know, dragons that disappear, and you can interact with them and talk to them.
Friend Twitchy, he'll reward you for helping us out.
I used to love this. I just, like, it was around this time whenever you can interact with anybody in a game, it was right around this time it was like Pokemon games on Game Boy Color, Spyro 2. I mean, Mega Man Legends was the first game that I owned that did that, where you can just, you know, talk to people in the town or whatever. But this is what I always liked. I liked when it felt more like immersive, like you were in a world that wasn't just like kill these enemies. It was just, you know, you had people that you were actually helping. This might be the game. Spyro 2 might be my the Spyro I like the most out of the trilogy. I have a very soft spot for Spyro 1. Like a lot, like I have a huge soft spot for Spyro 1 for its atmosphere. But I think compared to like Spyro 3 and 2, I just had so much more. I just spent so much more time with this game than I think any of the other games. Spyro 1 I definitely had a lot of time with, but Spyro 3, like, I got very late in the game. Late in the game as in, later on I got it. There's so many, like, secrets and tricks to this game that, it was just so much fun always just, like, discovering back when I was a kid. Oh. Gotta make sure I get everything here. The music too in Spyro 2 is just, it has a little bit of a skip to its step that I kind of enjoy a lot. I like all the music, but this there's something about Spyro 2's like music that's very playful and charming. Here we are. Boom, boom, boom. I like this first level too because there's a lot you can do without needing any of the secret like the special like abilities that you'll be getting later in the game. Like if you know what you're doing, you can actually get a lot more gems in this level than what the game expects of you. And I like that how it rewards you for that if you can figure it out.
Hi, Spyro. I'm a friend of Alora's, and she asked me to help you out. Whenever you find me, I'll remember your progress. Like this. That zap means that if you get into trouble, I'll return you to this place. See you around.
Thanks, Zoe. I like that they gave the fairy kind of like a name this time, because we had a lot of fairies helping us Lots of fairies helping us in the first game. But they were all no-names. They were all strangers.
We gem cutters are a bit too short to climb these ladders. And it looks like you are too. After you learn to climb, come back to Glimmer to see me.
Oh, I'll be back. Now, in Spyro 2, in Spyro 3, if you flame your, like, the little, you know, critter friends that kind of, like, help you along the way, they'll actually, like, react to this. But in Spyro 2, they never did. And I kind of like that they kept it like that for this game. Although it would be cool if they reacted. Yeah, for me, Spyro 2 was... Like, I just lost myself in this game so much back in '99. And, like, I just probably beat it the most, too, out of all the games. I think Spyro 3 actually gets a little too long for me. Like, there's a lot of collectibles, like, there's a lot of post-game to do, and at a certain point I get kind of exhausted. I kind of get worn out with it. But with this, it's just like perfect length, lots of exploration, but like, and it's just fun all the way through for me.
Ah, you must be the dragon everyone's talking about. Well, dragon or not, I'm afraid there is a small fee to open the bridge. It will cost you 100 of your gems to cross. You'll have to pay up sooner or later. It's the only way across. I have to look after my Avalar's financial well-being. You know.
Yeah. I wonder if I can get across. No. I'm sure there's some Spyro speedrunner who knows how to, but...
Back again, eh? And with plenty of treasure, I see. Would you like me to open the bridge? I won't even increase the price.
And I don't mind listening to all these different dialogues because I love the performances by the voice actors. They're funny.
Thank you, Mr. Dragon. Spyro, was it? You can now use the bridge whenever you want, free of charge. I hope we meet again when you have even more gems.
Okay, so Moneybags will react because the game kind of recognizes that he kind of deserves to be flamed.
To get a good look around, press the action button. Try using action to look around this cave.
Yep. Now I'm in active mode, right? Let me just make sure. Okay. Just making sure I'm in active. Active is always my camera of choice in Spyro. I just like it when the camera whips behind me as fast as it can.
Spyro, thanks for helping us fight off the lizards. Please take this talisman of glimmer as a sign of our gratitude. This magic portal next to me will take you to Summer Forest, one of the home worlds of Avalar.
It was also just a nice change of pace where the collectibles aren't like we're not trying to free dragons. It's not as like miserable as it was in Spyro 1, where it's like all these dragons are trapped in crystal. And then they leave you once you know, like, I like that we're collecting talismans and orbs and, gems is always going to be a mainstay, but, like, I like how it adds an, the talismans are cool. I like how it's like a little knick-knack you get.
Step through the portal next to me to go to Summer Forest.
I'll go when I go. Yeah. And I expected as much, and plus, by the time their contract actually ends where they have to let where they actually have the ability to make their any Activision games exclusive, I think we're gonna get the games we need, at least. Like I think we're gonna be good through 2022 through 2024. With any game that comes out by then, that it will be multi-platform. But yeah, at the same time, if they say that it's all gonna be multi-platform, then no complaints here. I hope they keep that promise. I love these little spirit particles too. It kind of adds another layer to the game now with these super power-ups. Just make sure there's nothing around here.
Is active, and you can restart our gem lamps. Flame all the lamps quickly, and the big gem lamp will light. The power-up will give you enough magic to fly for a short time.
I love the difficulty rating you get to. It's cool. Walk through the pyramids to trigger the Superfly power-up. Light the gem lamps with your flame. Light all the lamps quickly. All easy enough.
The big gem lamp will only light if all 6 small lamps are lit.
You don't say. When are you going to talk about your game of the year? I will. I just kind of want to take in the majesty of Spyro 2 here first.
Thanks for helping me light the lamp, Spyro.
Here's our first orb.
Gave me this orb. But I like gems better. You take it instead.
I love how we're getting these collectibles without really knowing why we need them yet. It's kind of cool. Alright, so, for 1998 Game of the Year, I actually have a lot of... I'm basically going to go through old... I have several games for this year that were pretty good contenders. I guess I'll start with what I don't think... There's actually 2 games here that I actually ended up... that I have, and I still have to this day physically, but I never really played them that much beyond probably once. I probably popped them in once and didn't think much of them and then just forgot about them. And I thought that was kind of unfair to those games for me to talk about them, so I actually, before I booted this up throughout this week, I actually popped these 2 games in and played them for a bit to kind of get a feel of like the quality of them and kind of like what they have to offer. And I have to say, like, I didn't think much of them, but I actually think they offer they hold their own, and they actually are pretty great games. So I'll go into those first after I talk to
These little lizards
Bouncer.
have eaten my entire crop of gems. I've tried hitting them with rocks, but they're too fast for me. You can try using one of my rocks. If you have any questions, just ask me.
Okie dokie. Hit the little lizards with rocks, talk to Bouncer for additional hints.
You can pick up a rock in your mouth by just walking up to it. To spit it out, press the attack button. To aim a rock, press the action button while you have a rock in your mouth. Press the attack button to spit the rock in the direction you are aiming.
I think I have like a Christmas ornament that looks like this guy. Let me see if he says anything else.
You can pick up a rock in your mouth.
Okay, okay, you get it. I just want to hear him talk. Like, when I was a kid, I just wanted to hear these people talk because it was, like, one of the first games where people were talking to me in the game, like, interactive, on an interactive, like, gameplay experience, which I always thought was great. Okay, so, the first two... Okay, so, like, one of the games I ended up playing for, like, the first time, like, since, like, I got it, was... Oh, I should get this guy. Hold on. Oh god, this guy's going away. It also blew my mind, by the way, that the characters can move. At the time, it sounds so trivial, but the idea that there's an ally character that's moving on his own throughout the level without me there to see it, and he's doing it on his own, that blew my mind as a kid. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it just did.
You can spit pretty far, Spyro. See if you can spit all the way to the lizard.
Yeah, like now when I look back, it's like, you know, it's definitely, you know, I couldn't imagine it being that groundbreaking to anyone today, but obviously, but like, I think people can still play these games and have fun with them, and kind of appreciate what's going on in a game that came out like around 99, you know, in the late 90s. Okay, so...
You can pick up a rock in your mouth.
Just making sure. So one of the first games that I popped in that I never played was NASCAR 99. And it was funny because I've been watching South Park. I've been binging South Park recently, and there's an episode where like Cartman becomes a NASCAR driver. And it was like right after that episode, I was like, you know what? Because I already planned to play this game. I was like, why don't I play NASCAR 99 now? And now here's the thing. Obviously, I'm not a NASCAR guy. And this game came out in 98. So, I mean, I maybe played it for like a little bit. And then the next year, CTR came out, Crash Team Racing came out, and it's like, why am I gonna play like NASCAR where I'm just going around a big circle over and over when I can like shoot missiles and bombs and throw beakers at Crash Bandicoot characters? Like as a kid, that's what my mindset was. So NASCAR just completely went over my head. But so I popped this game in, and I was very impressed with how well it played. It still plays like a really great, well-controlled game. It plays, like, it handles very well. Like, obviously, yeah, the graphics... And by the way, it's NASCAR 99 because in 98, you know, they always sports games always had the game like a year before, or like the, you know, that December before, or you know, like Q4 or whatever, like that full year before its actual year. But yeah, this game, it was really good. The graphics obviously are just, you know, it's PS1 graphics, but I was actually impressed by not just how it controlled, but like the attention to detail. Like when you're turning, you can see like a little shine in the back of your car that's supposed to be like the sunlight hitting your car, and it's like this like manufactured little light thing, but it actually like skims across the back of your car if you're hitting the sun at a certain angle. And I was like, wow, that's like really impressive for a PS1 game to kind of have this like lighting effect. And plus, like, I don't know anything about NASCAR. I don't know anything about like how car, you know, like all like the little terminology and stuff. But the game is very in depth. It reminded me of like playing like a Gran Turismo game or something, like where it's just like it goes into all this car mumbo jumbo that you wouldn't even know what it means really. But like for NASCAR fans, they probably know exactly what it means, and they were probably so like they probably thought it was like awesome that it like existed in this. And you know, it was a two-player game too, so that's always good. I really enjoyed it, and plus it had like these announcers that would like react depending on what you did in the race. So like it really was up to the quality of like a Madden or you know any of those like EA Sports games back then. So it was pretty good.
To hit that lizard up high, you'll have to aim. Press the action button to aim, then press the attack button to spit.
Okay, we gotta aim now.
You can pick up a rock in your mouth.
I heard you. I heard you. And so the other game I played, I popped in that was not, also was a game that I barely touched as a kid. Was so we'll get to that. So this game, surprisingly enough, was the first Activision remake of a classic game that I own. And I never thought twice about this until now, but it's actually like a really well-made remake of a classic game, and that game is Asteroids. Like the arcade, 70s arcade Asteroids. Except, what's cool about this one is it's kind of like a 2.5 3D, it's kind of like a 2.5 3D game where even though you're like side-scrolling and over like that over-top view of like the little ship that you're controlling, it's it's done in a 3D way where like the meteors are all they're all, what's it called? 3D... Oh, see, this is how I can get up that ladder, by the way. I think I need to get over here where this guy is. Here it is. And it was really good. It's just really well done. Like, you know, 2D games are very easy to kind of, like, not mess up when you remake them. And I was kind of addicted to this game, and I didn't even realize too that it's also a multiplayer game. Back in the day when like every game you owned like had a multiplayer aspect to it. It actually has a story mode. Like there's actually a campaign that Activision added in to make it more kind of immersive than just you know like a straight arcade shooter or arcade like Asteroids game.
You can pick up a rock in your mouth by just...
I know. And I thought it was cool. Obviously not the best game that I own, and I can see as a kid why I would have kind of just like not thought much of it, because like it was right around the time when 3D games were kind of like making their big stride. And just to, you know, obviously you know what games come out in 1998 that I was definitely playing. So yeah, Asteroids just didn't capture my imagination as much, but as someone who kind of like appreciates video games now in its entirety and like what it in all shapes and sizes and what, you know, all different genres and stuff, I thought this Asteroids game was really well done, like by Activision back when Activision wasn't like you know, like they've done good with the remakes of PS4, but they were kind of a more respectable company back in PS1. So it's cool to see even back then they were actually like delivering some cool games like that. Because like I said, like 1995, that Power Move Pro Wrestling game I have, that was also an Activision game, and it wasn't that great. So maybe they still were hit and miss back then.
You can pick up a rocket.
But yeah, so that's NASCAR 99 and Asteroids. I feel like I could play either of these for like a whole night if I wanted to, because they really were addicting. It's just, you know, I'm just not really that much of a fan of NASCAR, but I can get behind the racing aspect of it, and the different modes that it offers. Oh my god, this lizard's really giving me a run for my money. Okay, so another game. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the games that I really, really, really enjoyed back in 1998 as a kid. And there's there's a few. There's several here that I'll go into. One being another EA Sports game. Where'd he go? Oh, he's over here, right? Another EA Sports game that and it was a sport that I actually really enjoyed as a kid, and that was hockey. So this is NHL '99, and I really liked this game as a kid because it was. First of all, it opens with David Bowie's "Heroes," which is such an awesome song to open a sports game to. And so it had this cool atmosphere to it. The gameplay was always so funny to me. You can create your own team.
To aim a rock, press.
You can create your own team like with anybody you want. So like back when I was in hockey, like when I played hockey as a kid, I would make my entire team that I of all my friends or whatever, and I would make them and like make their make their stats a certain way just so that it matches who they are, and it was just funny to me.
Here, take this orb. Some girl with wings dropped it here yesterday.
And yeah, that game I was just very obsessed with. I used to play the seasons. Like, I used to play through, like, a whole season of it, and you can make the season short, and it was just fun. Like, even though it's a PS1 game, like, like when you go back to it, it looks all, blocky and, kind of stiff. It played very well. It was back when EA Sports wasn't, like, a hit or miss type of title. It was, like, EA Sports games were really good back then. And now I feel like these days, like, that you hear about like a Madden NFL game coming out, and it's like a bare bones, like really bad game with a lot of glitches. Like that wasn't really a thing back then. And like honestly, NHL '99 was just like this game that was like so super solid that like I never needed another hockey game again for like probably over 10 years because it just played so well and it was just fun. But I know it's a boring answer. I know sports games might not be the most appealing answers. But, not an answer, but just a game to delve into. But, yeah, that's a game that I really look back fondly on as a kid.
You can have as many rocks as you like.
I'll eat all the rocks. Okay, so those games out of the way, then I had... There's two games. Okay, so there's two games that are going to be the real contenders of my game of the year. But there's two games that were also really fun that were kind of like, I guess, my runner-ups. So like, I would say there's two runner-ups and there's two like real contenders that are kind of like neck and neck. So I'll go into my runner-ups. One of them is the first licensed game from a TV show that I own. And that was Rugrats Search for Reptar, which was a game, it was like one of the first 3D Rugrats games where you can play the different episodes from the TV show. So that's what was always appealing to me, is that I knew the episodes, and I loved how the game basically like captured like your imagination of what the episode would be like if it was like a video game level. Or like a video game mission. I love that game because you basically had the complete schematics of like the Pickles house. Oh my god, I should probably not do this, but you know what? I think I might come. You know what? I'll get these gems here at least while I'm talking. But yeah, it was a really great game. All the voice acting's done by the original cast. I think it was written by like the writers of the show. I could be wrong. But it was a very well done game, and I mean, it was like this. Here's the thing: it didn't really play that well. It was kind of clunky. The graphics were very blocky. But it still captured my imagination as a kid, and it was one of those games too that I had friends or neighbors that had it first. I think like one of my neighbors actually had it as his like bundled with his PS1. And I remember being like kind of jealous of that, but then I ended up getting the game and it was fun. And it actually, I think I might have beat it like 20 times because it's a really short game. But it just has a lot of replay value. I know there's this one level where you can, I think it's Ice Cream Mountain, where you can play an entire like 9-hole mini golf course, and you can literally just play like a multiplayer. Again, this is another game that was just multiplayer because that's how great games were back then. Because every game was multiplayer if it had a single player. You can play multiplayer mini golf. So it was like a game within a game, and it actually played like an actual golf game in a way. So like it was kind of cool. I think I have everything that I need for the gems for now. So I'll come back here later. I could technically get the gems, but I'm not going to waste my time flying over and over. Trying to get to that. I'll just come back when I get the climb ability. But yeah, Rugrats was really fun. That's a runner-up though, but I honestly, it does pale it just definitely pales in comparison to the top two games of 1998 for me. The last runner-up though is a sequel to a game I already owned, but it's the third sequel or the third game in the series, and that is Twisted Metal 3. Which I'll get into in a second.
Oh no! Oh, hello. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves before. My name is Alora.
Hi. I'm Spyro. What are you, some kind of goat?
I'm a fawn, you dork.
Oh, sorry.
Did you meet the gem cutters in Glimmer?
Yeah. They gave me a souvenir, too. They called it a talisman.
They gave you a talisman?
What, is it special? I just stuck it in the guidebook you gave me.
Well, there are 14 talismans in Avalar, and they are all magical. If you can collect enough of them, they can be used to defeat Ripto. Hunter, where have you been?
Oh, I got a little lost.
Spyro's gonna help us collect the talismans.
I am?
He is.
Spyro, look. There's no way you can get to Dragon Shores right now. Ripto and his monsters have taken over the castle here in the Summer Forest. You're going to have to go to Avalar's worlds and convince the inhabitants to give you their talisman. You can keep them in your guidebook.
Hey, I could do that. Why doesn't the dragon just torch Ripto?
Hunter, you can't even keep track of your running shoes. How can we trust you with 14 talismans? If you come across any orbs, they're important too. But I'll tell you about them later.
Okay, no problem. I'll collect a few talismans, give Ripto the old hot foot, and be in Dragon Shores by lunchtime.
I always love this intro to Summer Forest. It's like such a wonder. This atmosphere, the music, everything. This is such a change of pace from the first game, where first of all, this is the first homeworld we're gonna be in where you can't die. You are completely contained within this homeworld. You won't fall off any cliffs, and you will not drown because now we can at least paddle through the water, and it's just so much more peaceful and cathartic and therapeutic and everything. All those nice fancy words. It's just nice. I love it. But yeah, so Twisted Metal 3 was a game for 1998. Now this game is, oddly enough, I prefer this game over Twisted Metal 1, but the creator of Twisted Metal would hate that I would say that because he actually he despises Twisted Metal 3 because it's not up to like the spirit of what he wanted Twisted Metal to be. It's very hokey, very cheesy with its like cutscenes, like with Calypso, who's like in control of the contest of Twisted Metal. If you watch like in Twisted Metal 1, it's very hardcore and very rock and roll and it kind of takes itself a little serious, like a little bit more seriously than Twisted Metal 3 does, I think. Like Twisted Metal 3 kind of has these weird, goofy animations that if you actually watch them on YouTube, it's just like hilarious to even watch because it's not like really that scary. It just feels like you're watching like a, I don't know, like a, I wouldn't say like a Saturday morning cartoon, but it's like a, it just looks like a very cheesy, like goofy version of what Twisted Metal should be. That said, I still prefer Twisted Metal 3 for its gameplay and because it had co-op. It had co-op in the story, and because I enjoyed the characters more, like the character selection. Obviously it has Sweet Tooth, but it had really cool new additions, like well, for me it was a new addition, like Axel, which is this guy that's like bound to two wheels, like his arms are connected to the wheels or whatever, and he's like stuck in the car basically, like, and he wants to get out. And you can play as like Darkseid, which was like a, I guess he was playable in the first one, but no, actually he was a boss in the third one, which was even more intense to me. But yeah, I just enjoyed those games. It had better graphics at the time, better controls, and there was just more to it, honestly. Like as a game, it was more expanded upon than the first game. But the first game, I think, sticks to the spirit of what Twisted Metal was trying to be and what it would become again back, when David Jaffe takes over again for the PS2 version, Twisted Metal Black, and like Head On, and like the 2012 game or whatever. Twisted Metal 3 is what he considers the worst Twisted Metal, but I think I kind of have like a nostalgia for it, I guess, and it comes from a time when, again, you were getting all these crazy modes. Like developers weren't like, cheating you of like a bare bones game. You were always getting a very hefty package if you were gonna make a purchase in a very successful franchise of an IP. So,
Spyro, this is the homeworld called Summer Forest. There are portals to many of the Avalar worlds around here. Unfortunately, Ripto has taken over the castle, and we need your help. Start by retrieving the talismans from each of the worlds you visit.
Okie dokie.
Check your guidebook by pressing the menu button and choosing the guidebook option to see which talismans you have collected.
Anything you say, goat lady. No, I'm just kidding. Allura, I really liked Allura back in the day. I liked that she was kind of like our little spirit guide to how we traverse this game. Always helpful, always kind of like a sigh of relief when she shows up. Okay, so now that we got those games out of the way, not that like, honestly, there's not a bad game in this bunch here. It's just games like Asteroids just didn't really appeal to me that much, and with how many games there are now, like, I don't see myself really going back to it that, anytime soon ever. But it's a really great game. I think it's actually very well done, and I'll give it that. I'll give it that credit. NASCAR 99, not my type of sport, but it's a very good racing game. I don't own many racing games, and I think this one actually still holds up very well. And I honestly am kind of curious to play it some more so than Asteroids, I think. But still a great game. NHL 99 is a game I don't really return to that much these days, but I really loved it back in the day, and I still feel like I can get back into it if I wanted to, if I had the time. And then Rugrats Search for Reptar is a game, you have to understand, when it's the first licensed game of a TV show that I've ever, that I was, as a kid, that I liked. So it really for me, was a success. It actually pulled off everything I wanted it to. Let's see what Hunter has to say.
Hey, Spyro. Ripto smashed this bridge, so I guess you'll have to glide across it. Press the jump button, then press jump again while you're still in the air to glide.
I liked Hunter back in the day, too, because he kind of represents that kind of competitive, friendly nature that you kind of crave as a kid from any other friend. Kind of like that athleticism that he kind of like, that he kind of boasts about. Like, he's got these running shoes, he's supposed to be great, he's supposed to be a great archer. He's always kind of like ready for a challenge or whatever. I thought he always made like a very interesting companion to Spyro. Even though he's watered down in this version in terms of his personality, I still respect the concept of Hunter.
Remember, press the jump button, then press jump again to glide.
Okay, so the two games that are... well, before I...
Remember, press the jump button, then...
Yeah. So, yeah, other than Rugrats, Twisted Metal 3 was a great game, but, not that much replayability, but I definitely played it the most out of any... actually, it's really the last Twisted Metal game I own, to be honest. And if I had a choice between playing Twisted Metal 3 or Twisted Metal 1, I think I'd play 3 because it's a little bit more charming to me and it's a little bit more approachable. And I kind of dig its goofiness in a way. Even though it's still pretty badass when you actually play it in-game. But yeah, okay, so my final two games, and I'm pretty sure you know what they are already. One is Crash Bandicoot Warped, and the other is Spyro the Dragon. Now, this is like a toss-up. This is a toss-up. And how can I not pick these two games? I mean, come on. These games... Like, if we're really talking about what the games of the year that I was playing and that I still look fondly on today, these are the two games. Now, here's the thing. Spyro 1 is the first of its franchise, and Crash Bandicoot 3 is the last of the Naughty Dog platforming era, and it has a lot to offer in it. You did forget about Spyro 1, didn't you? Now let's keep in mind my 1995 Game of the Year is Twisted Metal. My 1996 is Crash Bandicoot 1. And it's Crash Bandicoot 1, by the way, because I had no other games that I played in 1996. And then 1997 was Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. So... To say that it's going to be Crash 3 is kind of... It's kind of, not giving Spyro the love it deserves. But it also kind of makes sense that Crash 3 is basically Crash 2's physics and engine, except it has the minigame aspect, which I actually, as a kid, I really loved the minigame aspect of, like, like, where you were choosing your level, you were going to ride a tiger, or fly a jet plane, like a WW2 plane, or a jet ski, or scuba dive. Obviously, they always made these very varied, and I mean, the motorcycle levels, there's like 4 of them, I think. But I always enjoyed it at the time, and honestly, I mastered those mini games, how they play and how they feel. So I don't really complain about the controls when it comes to them, like other newcomers would. I think they I think they hold up very well. Well, let's not say it holds up well, but it's doable for me. Although with the Crash Insane Trilogy, and I know this is just the Insane Trilogy, the D-pad with the motorcycle was so broken that it did make me kind of sympathize with those who get frustrated with it, because because using the analog stick or the joystick was made like going for the time trials hell. It made it so much harder. It was harder to maintain that wheelie. So I can see how people can get frustrated with that. But the thing is, PS1 had it mastered. You can use the, like, I was always a D-pad guy, but you can use the joysticks in Crash 3, I think. Yeah, you can, but you were probably better off with the D-pad, and it worked. It worked like a charm.
Hi, Spyro. You look like you're pretty agile. Let's try putting it to a test. See if you can get up this first step. Press the jump button and hold it down to get more hang time.
Okie doke. Now, Crash 3 had a replayability that added so much to the game at the time, and those were the time trials. And that was huge at the time. It brought, like, again, it brought kind of like a sense of, like, athleticism to the game, where it's like, I can do better, I can do better. I remember Crash 3 was the first game where I felt like I can do, if I put my mind to it, I could do what Crash does. I could scuba dive if I wanted to. I can ride a motorcycle. I can I could jump. I can double jump. I as a kid I tried to double jump in real life. That's how much the game captured my imagination, with Crash kind of representing kind of like that get up and go kind of like 90s I guess like that get out and play type of spirit. Like I remember being in like I would swim. Now, well, here's the thing. Yeah, I would swim underwater, pretending I was Crash. Like that's how and I would try to spin underwater to go faster and stuff like that. The game captured my my child imagination so much, to the point where I was just such a dork, but it made me want to run faster and get stronger and stuff like that. And it was one of the first franchise, and this is weird because I never really talk about this, but it really was one of the first.
Okay, not bad. Now to make this next jump, you'll have to glide. Press the jump button, then press jump again at the top of your jump to get the maximum glide distance.
It was one of the first franchises that made me want to kind of exercise and go outside and play. Which is weird because Tony Hawk did the same thing with getting into skateboarding and stuff like that. But Crash was kind of more versatile, and I like that. I don't know why I'm going on this rant about this, but it's just something that popped into my head. But anyway, Crash 3 is a very fond game I look back on. I think the story was really good still. The time travel was very interesting at the time. But I gotta say, Spyro the Dragon, as much as... See, here's the thing. I think I loved Crash 3 more than Spyro the Dragon when I was a kid. But I think Spyro always crept into my subconscious of how great it was, and it always pulled me back in. And it wasn't a game that was about, time trials or, difficulty. I mean, it was difficult, but, I loved the sense of exploration, the open worldness. It's the first game, other than Mega Man Legends, that was open, kind of like an open, not linear like Crash. It was more open to explore. And the charging and the gliding mechanics, everything was just so fresh. And it felt good at the time, even though the boss fights in Spyro 1 are not that inspired. It didn't really matter. The game just ran. It just operated well. It felt like it had this atmosphere tone to it that made it so it got in. It seeped into your dreams, like how dreamlike it was. It really was imagination explosion of what games can be for me. And it kind of stuck it out throughout the PS1 generation into the PS2 generation, where like I had PS2 games and I was like, you know what, I want to play Spyro because this game is still like, it still it still like captures my heart, you know.
Now try to do a hover. Press the jump button, then press jump again to glide. When you reach the end of your glide, press the action button to hover. Hovering will give you extra height and distance.
And I love this. I think this is the best gliding tutorial in the whole series, where Hunter is, he's kind of teaching you step by step jumping, gliding, hovering, and then like really going all for it at the, like, you know, kind of going that extra mile in the last jump. I love this. Like it really did capture that sense of like so a kid challenging you to do better, not just because they're trying to be like antagonistic or whatever, but they just they want you to do better, so that it almost makes them want to step their own game up and stuff like that. Like but I like this. But yeah, so if you can't tell by now, I'm leaning for my game of the year of 1998 to be Spyro the Dragon. And you saw me just play 10 hours of Spyro Reignited Trilogy, the first Spyro. And I pretty much have talked about it ad nauseum throughout those 10 hours, but it really is a game that just like it was a game changer of a game for 1998. For Crash 3 to be my game of the year, it would be kind of cheap because Crash 2 already kind of is my more, what I think is like the better in terms of just like a straight on platformer, and it had the same physics. I think Crash 2 kind of already took that crown for me, whereas Crash 3, as great as it is, it's not, even though it's doing different things, it's not breaking ground to the extent that Spyro the Dragon was. And that's not to say though that I love the new abilities you get in Crash 3 though. Like the Death Tornado Spin might be one of my favorite like new abilities that a character gets in a video game. It's very down to earth compared to like what you can get in like later, more modern games, but it really added such a new play style to the game, not just for time trials, but just like how you choose to play. Like you didn't need to always be using the Death Tornado Spin, but you can use it at will, and it could work in your favor in many moments. Like I always loved that. As a kid, I loved the bazooka more, because it just felt cool that I was shooting a bazooka in a kid's game or whatever, even though it's just shooting Wumpa fruit. But when you get older, the Death Tornado Spin I think is like the more appreciated thing, especially when you add the double jump. And honestly, I feel like Crash 3 is like by the time you get to the end of Crash 3, it feels like he becomes a Smash character. Like a character that can compete in Smash. Like he gets his like ground pound, which is a more powerful ground pound. He gets the double jump, which he'll need. He'll get the Death Tornado Spin, which is like his way to get back onto the map if he gets knocked off. And then, you know, you get your run ability and a bazooka, like kind of like a sniper, like far away move that you can use. But yeah, Spyro. It's just something about it. The music, Stuart Copeland's music, it just felt like it was ahead of its time, honestly. It felt like it was a moment in video games, in PlayStation, that was very notable. And I can't dismiss that. Spyro was just definitely, it just like, for me, like, it's just like above and beyond.
Very good. Now for the hardest leap of all. You'll have to give this one everything you've got. Get a walking start, jump, glide, and hover just before you get to the edge of the platform. Don't forget to press forward on the left stick when you hover.
Nice. And again, with Spyro, for its first installment, it's very amazing.
Wow, you're a pretty good athlete.
Like it's a
If I
solid
lost
game.
my running shoes, I'd take you on for real. For now, here's an orb for your collection.
Thank you, Hunter. I deserve it. like I said in a past I think during the Spyro playthrough, I said like Spyro 1 compared to Crash Bandicoot 1, it's night and day. Like Spyro 1 is such a more complete, like more entertaining, like more fluid game, I guess. Crash Bandicoot 1 is a great game and it's a fun game, but it has a lot of problems to it that get ironed out in its sequels. Whereas Spyro 1, it gets like little enhancements that makes it better, like the hover and like the abilities that we'll be able to get, and like the kind of like the mini game aspect and the ability to talk to people and stuff. That all adds so much, but the core gameplay was always there from the start, and yeah, I gotta hand it to him.
I'm just taking a break right now. I've got to rest for the next big race in Ocean Speedway.
Now I figure I'll get some gems here. We kind of got cheated in the beginning of this Let's Play with my with the Super Flame getting in the way. So,
Sparks, the dragonfly following you around is your health indicator, Spyro. The brighter he is, the more hit points you have.
Good to know. See what Moneybags wants.
Sorry, Spyro. I'd love to teach you how to swim underwater, but not as much as I'd love to take your treasure.
Beautiful.
Sorry.
But yeah, okay, so 1995, Twisted Metal, 1996, Crash Bandicoot, 1997, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and 1998, Spyro the Dragon. I think these game of the like these will get more interesting as we go, because I think Pelpa, I think you have a good idea of the games I like from the PS1 era. But you'll as we go forward, you'll see. Maybe you'll be surprised by some of the stuff I. Okay, so I need to for next time.
Check your guidebook by pressing.
I will. For next time, now here's the thing: what a lot of people make the mistake of. You have a choice now. You can go to Idle Springs or you can go to Colossus. The mistake that people make is that the first portal that's here is Idle Springs, like the first one that you can access, like that's within like closer distance from this door, is Idle Springs. And a lot of people choose Idle Springs, not realizing that they'll need to go back there later when they get the swim ability. Colossus, though, which is an island in the middle of the water, which you would like a newcomer would expect. Maybe you need like the water ability or something. It doesn't have any water swimming like at all in it, so you can actually go in here first and basically not backtrack as much when you come back out, because then you can get the swim ability from Moneybags, and then you can go right into Idle Springs and not have to worry about backtracking. Yeah, I might even guess some of the games from the 2000s. I'm sure you will. I'm sure. Like I wouldn't put it past you. But we'll see. You know what? I think I'll end it here. I technically have played for an hour because I think it was like 10 minutes for that whole Super Flame debacle. So we'll end it here. We'll come back next time. We'll do 1999, and that will be a fun one too. All right. For those who want to take it upon themselves to like, comment, and subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. Pulpa Pig, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for chatting with me, and for those, and I'm sorry I didn't get to do much. I know I was in Glimmer, and I did some of the summer. I did what I could in Summer Forest here, but we'll definitely get more done in the next one. This was just kind of like a starter up, like explore the world type intro. But yeah, everyone stay safe. keep a clear head. Stay healthy and keep on gaming, and I will catch you guys next time in Kev Plays Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Peace out, everyone.